unaussprechlichen Rampen.
Hello everyone! It's been a while since I last recorded one of these unspeakable rambles, but it feels like the title of this podcast is particularly apt this time around. Today I'm sharing something both remarkable and a bit disconcerting. For the next 30 minutes, you will hear a detailed and surprisingly accurate discussion of my 2023 book, The Aleister Crowley Manual. But here's the part that gives me pause. Every single word you're about to listen to was generated by Google's latest AI language model called Notebook. I didn't edit a thing, and it took less than 5 minutes for it to generate the whole thing. On one hand, it's amazing how sophisticated AI has become, capable of crafting content that is coherent, persuasive, and well-informed. Yet on the other hand, it raises unsettling questions. If machines can produce something so compelling, so quickly, what does that mean for human creativity and expertise? How do we ensure that the information we rely on remains trustworthy and truly unbiased? And so I invite you to listen closely, not only because it's genuinely engaging and at times even fun, but also because it will leave you with the eerie thought that those aren't real people. It's a striking reminder that AI is no longer a distant concept. It's here, and it's evolving rapidly. Once again, remember, what you're about to hear is the worst this technology is going to be, as it only will keep on improving. And so let's proceed, though I suggest we keep a cautious eye on what this technology signifies for the future of writing, of learning, and of critical thinking. And now let's begin.
Okay, so you want to really get Thelema and magic.
Yeah.
But Crowley's stuff can be tough, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like reading hieroglyphics almost.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I've been there.
Yeah.
That's why this deep dive, I think, is going to be super helpful for you.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to unpack this book, the Aleister Crowley Manual.
Okay.
What makes this book so awesome is it's just straight up step by step.
Like a manual.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
It's like he took all that really complex stuff that Crowley wrote
Yeah.
and made it practical. Something you can actually use.
That was his goal.
Yeah.
The author himself was saying how he had trouble with Crowley, too. For someone starting out, it was just...
Dense.
Yeah, dense and complex.
Yeah.
So he was like, how can I make this accessible to everyone?
Yeah, and you know what the best part is?
What's that?
We've both been messing around with this stuff in this book for over a year,
Mm-hmm.
and the benefits have been amazing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like what?
Dude, my energy levels are
Oh, wow.
through the roof.
Okay.
It's like I'm plugged into some universal power source or something.
I can relate to that. I've noticed a heightened sense of awareness, just feeling more connected to everything around me.
Yeah.
And a really strong sense of purpose,
That's it. It's like this book just opened up a whole new dimension of experience.
I like that.
So let's jump into the core of what makes this manual tick.
Okay.
So one of the first things it says is magic's not just about spells and rituals.
Right.
It's like a technology of consciousness.
It is.
It's-
It's interesting how they say you have to do the work.
You can't just read about it.
Right. You have to actively engage with it.
Yeah.
To bridge that gap between theory and experience.
Totally. And that's where the book really shines because it starts with foundational practices,
Like what?
like breath control, visualization, keeping a magical diary.
Simple stuff, but really important.
Yeah.
Like, for example, breath control, what they call prana in Sanskrit.
Right.
It's like learning to regulate the energy, that fuels all the magical practices.
And visualization is like working out a muscle in your mind.
Totally.
The more you do it, the more vivid you can make it.
Yeah.
The more powerful your rituals and techniques become.
Yeah. They even had this cool story in there about this group astral projection thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They were inspired by that TV show Hellier.
Oh, wow.
And he was describing, being pulled into this realm of swirling purple fractals.
Whoa.
Experiencing physical sensations like nausea, even.
Right.
Pretty wild.
That does sound pretty intense.
Yeah, and then after an experience like that, grounding is super important.
Makes sense.
And that's where the magical diary comes in,
Okay.
like a scientific journal tracking your progress,
Right.
observing your practices and experiences.
So you got those foundational practices. Then they go a step further with this idea of the magical pyramid.
The magical pyramid.
Yeah. So you're building this structure within yourself,
Okay.
aligning yourself with the 4 elements.
Fire, earth, air, water.
Yep. Each element is connected to like the cardinal directions, the zodiac,
Right.
different aspects of your inner world.
So it's like mapping out your inner landscape,
Yeah.
understanding how these elemental forces work within you.
And they have this really awesome visualization in there where you build an astral temple.
I remember that one.
Oh, it's so cool.
You go into this cave and encounter these guardians representing the elements.
Yeah.
And then eventually reach this double-cubed altar.
Yeah, in the center,
Yeah, like creating a sacred space within yourself.
within your own consciousness.
It's awesome.
It is.
And they talk a lot about patience and consistency with this stuff.
Yeah, you can't rush it.
It takes time. It's a journey.
Yeah, it's not a destination,
Exactly.
it's
It's a journey.
to really integrate those elements and harness their power.
So you're building your magical pyramid.
Yeah.
You're getting familiar with the elements.
Right.
Then the book dives into rituals and techniques.
The good stuff.
And there's a lot there.
There is rituals of the pentagram and hexagram, banishing versus invoking
Yep.
Hebrew names and symbols, mystical postures.
Right.
I mean, it can get a little overwhelming if
Okay.
you're just starting out,
But that's what makes this manual so great.
It's straightforward.
Yeah, it breaks down those complex rituals step by step.
Yeah.
Explains not only what to do, but why you're doing it. It demystifies the use of all the symbols and names, shows you how they're tools for focusing your mind, accessing deeper levels of consciousness, directing energy.
It's like they're keys to unlocking different parts of your consciousness.
Yeah. I really liked that part about not overthinking the symbolism.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between understanding it intellectually,
Uh-huh.
but also experiencing it,
Right.
know?
Right.
Not getting bogged down in the details, but letting the rituals work on a deeper level.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool how they put that thelemic spin on those traditional rituals,
Yeah.
like the LRP.
The lesser ritual of the pentagram.
Yeah. And the thelemic middle pillar exercise.
Right.
It's like showing you how to integrate thelemic concepts into your practice.
Making it more than just a theory.
Yeah.
It's grounding it,
Totally. And then there were those signs of LVX, those mystical postures.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
That represent like the journey towards enlightenment.
It brings in the body and mind even more fully.
Yeah. It's a whole holistic approach,
Right. Incorporates physical, mental, spiritual aspects.
Okay, so we've covered foundations, some key rituals,
Yeah.
how this book makes it all accessible.
Right.
Now let's dive into the philosophy.
The core of Thelema.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thelema itself.
The book does a really good job explaining the concept of eons.
Right. These historical periods marked by different spiritual paradigms.
Right. So we transition from the Eon of Isis, representing the mother and nature,
Uh-huh.
to the Eon of Osiris, embodying the father and patriarchal values.
And finally to the Eon of Horus, the child.
Yes. This is where it gets exciting.
Yeah.
It's all about individuality, self-realization.
Okay, so to understand this Eon, we got to meet the key players.
Okay.
Nuit Hadit and Rahor Quit.
All right, let's do it.
Nuit is the goddess of infinite space and possibility.
She's all about breaking free from dogma,
Mm-hmm.
embracing joy, love, self-expression,
Then there's Hadit, the god of pure being.
the spark of individuality within each of us.
Yeah, he embodies vitality, courage, living in the moment.
Right.
And then Rahorquit is the warrior god.
Embodying the will to change and achieve your true potential.
He's the one that pushes you towards transformation.
He does.
And then you've got these other characters too.
Like,
Babylon, Baphomet, Pan. They bring this whole other layer of symbolism to Thelema.
especially the exploration of sexuality.
Right, as a pathway to spiritual growth.
It's a reminder that Thelema embraces the totality of human experience,
Yeah.
recognizing that every aspect of ourselves can be a source of power.
Power and insight. And speaking of power and insight, the book leads us to the concepts of true will and the journey of initiation.
The heart of Thelema.
True will is about finding your unique purpose in life,
That thing you were born to do.
aligning yourself with it completely,
It's like finding your personal legend.
and living it to the fullest.
Yes.
And the book suggests that magic can be a tool for uncovering and manifesting your true will.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how?
Well, through the rituals, the visualizations, and working with the elements,
Okay.
you're cultivating awareness, focusing your energy, aligning yourself with the forces that support your journey.
So it's like clearing the path
Exactly.
so you can see your true destiny more clearly.
It's not about forcing things or trying to control outcomes.
Right,
It's
yeah.
about becoming a conscious co-creator.
Working in harmony with the universe.
Yeah, to bring your true will into being.
Okay, so We've covered a lot here,
We have.
from foundational practices to the core philosophy of Thelema. What strikes me is how this book makes it all understandable and applicable.
Totally.
It's not just some abstract theory.
Yeah,
It's a practical guide for anyone looking for genuine transformation.
absolutely.
And the best part is it encourages personal experience.
It does.
It's not about blindly following dogma.
Right.
It's about finding your own path.
Trusting your intuition.
So before we dive into the more challenging aspects of Thelema,
Okay.
what stands out to you from all this so far?
You know what I think is really cool is how they take all this complex stuff about Thelema and magic,
Yeah.
and they present it in a way that's clear, concise, and actually usable. It's like a roadmap for anyone who wants to go on this journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration.
Totally.
Yeah.
I agree. And the fact that it's written by someone who's actually walked the path.
Yeah, lived it.
Yeah, experienced the transformative power of these practices firsthand.
It makes it that much more compelling.
It's like having a trusted guide leading you through the labyrinth. So in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to roll up our sleeves and explore some of the specific techniques and rituals in more detail
Okay.
and see how you can apply them in your own life.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
So we talked about the foundations,
Yeah.
magical practice,
Yeah.
and how this book makes them super accessible.
Right.
Now let's get into some specifics.
Yeah.
The techniques, the rituals that can really amp up your transformation.
We touched on the thelemic middle pillar exercise earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I've been messing around with that one.
It's a good one.
It is powerful,
Okay.
but I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all.
It's a cool adaptation of a traditional Kabbalistic technique.
Yeah.
It involves visualizing, drawing energy down from Nuit,
Okay.
the goddess of infinite space.
Uh-huh.
And she's visualized as this brilliant star above your head.
I love that part.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it feels so expansive.
Like you're merging with the entire cosmos.
Yeah.
And then you bring that energy down through your body.
Yeah.
Visualizing these brilliant stars at specific points,
Right.
your throat, your heart, your solar plexus,
Uh-huh.
and then finally grounding it at your feet.
It's like creating a channel.
A pillar of light.
Yeah. Flowing through you.
Exactly. And as you're visualizing each star, you vibrate the names of specific thelemic deities
Right.
associated with those points.
Okay.
So you're aligning yourself with these powerful forces,
Yeah.
activating those energies within you.
That reminds me of something else they talk about in the book.
What's that?
The use of Hebrew names and symbols in the rituals.
Yeah.
I gotta admit that was kind of intimidating at first.
I get it.
Yeah,
But the book explains it well.
it does.
These aren't just random words.
Yeah.
They have specific meanings,
Uh-huh.
vibrational qualities
Okay.
that can be used to focus the mind and direct energy.
It's like they're keys, unlocking different doorways in your consciousness.
Perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
For example, the LRP.
Lesser ritual of the pentagram.
Yep. That incorporates the Hebrew names of God
Right.
associated with each of the four elements.
It's a foundational ritual.
It is.
And they present like a really clear Selimic adaptation of it.
So the LRP is all about banishing and invoking energy.
Right.
You use specific gestures, visualizations, vibrations of divine names
Okay.
to either banish unwanted energies
Right.
or invoke specific energies into your space.
Like cleansing your energy field
Exactly.
and inviting in the energies you want.
The ones that support your intentions.
And there are different versions for each element.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the book does a beautiful job of explaining the symbolism of each and how it relates to different parts of you.
For example.
So the LRP for fire is associated with willpower, courage, passion,
Okay.
while the LRP for water is linked to emotions, intuition, creativity.
So if you're feeling scattered or drained,
Yeah.
you might use a banishing ritual for air,
To clear out the mental clutter.
right, to create a sense of calm.
Exactly. Or if you need more energy and motivation,
You might invoke fire.
to ignite that inner drive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the hexagram rituals, though?
Ah, those are interesting.
They're mentioned in the book, too.
They are.
But they sounded even more complex.
They are a step up.
In what way?
Complexity and the level of consciousness they engage.
Okay.
So the pentagram rituals work with the four terrestrial elements, right?
Yeah.
The hexagram rituals tap into planetary energies.
Planetary energies.
Yeah.
Like Jupiter, Saturn.
Yes.
So we're talking astrology now.
In a way,
Right.
in many magical traditions, there's a close connection between astrology and ritual work. And each planet is associated with specific qualities, archetypes.
Like, for example?
Jupiter is linked to abundance, expansion, and good fortune.
Okay.
while Saturn is associated with the discipline, structure, limitation.
So in a hexagram ritual for Jupiter,
Yes.
you'd be invoking those expansive, abundant energies.
Exactly.
Right.
To attract those qualities into your life.
And the book has instructions for each planetary ritual.
It does.
Wow.
It tells you the gestures, the symbols, the divine names to use.
It's like learning a whole new language
Yeah.
for communicating with the cosmos.
It
sounds incredibly intricate and powerful.
It is. And as you go on in your magical practice,
Yeah.
these rituals become more than just steps to follow.
Okay.
They become a way of life,
Right.
a language for interacting with the subtle forces of the universe.
Shaping your reality.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you on the rituals and techniques.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it feels like we're talking about these deities and energies as if they're actual beings.
Sure.
Is Nuit really out there somewhere waiting for us to invoke her?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every magician grapples with it at some point.
Right.
The book advises approaching these concepts with an open mind.
Okay.
Because our language, our understanding is limited.
When it comes to these subtle realms,
Yeah.
so it's not necessarily about believing in them literally,
Not necessarily. It's more about engaging with them as archetypes,
powerful symbols.
right, that can help us access deeper levels of consciousness.
Tap into unseen forces.
Think of them as lenses
Okay.
to view and interact with the universe.
So like Nuit might represent the limitless potential within each of us,
Exactly.
that capacity for expansion and creativity.
That we can awaken through these practices.
Okay.
By working with these symbols and rituals,
Yeah.
we can unlock those qualities within ourselves.
Bring them into our everyday lives.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It's not about dogma or blind faith.
Yeah.
It's about using these tools,
To explore the mysteries of consciousness.
yes, and the universe,
Yeah.
and to unlock our hidden potential.
So we've talked about rituals,
Uh-huh.
symbolism, deities as archetypes.
Right.
But what about the ultimate goal?
The big question.
The book keeps mentioning true will,
True will.
and I'm curious to explore that more.
True will is central to Thelema. And this book does a fantastic job of clarifying what it means and how to find it.
Okay.
It's about finding your purpose in life,
that thing you were born to do.
aligning yourself with it completely.
It's like finding your own North Star
Yeah,
and letting it guide you.
that's a great way to put it.
And the book suggests that magic can be a powerful tool
It can.
for not only discovering your true will, but also manifesting it.
Absolutely.
So how?
Through the rituals of visualizations working with the elements,
Uh-huh.
you're cultivating awareness, focusing your energy, aligning yourself with forces that support your journey.
Like clearing a path
It's like clearing away the mental and emotional clutter
that's blocking you.
that's blocking you from seeing your true path.
So it's not about forcing things
Yep.
or controlling outcomes.
It's about becoming a conscious participant
Yeah.
in the unfolding of your destiny,
Becoming a co-creator with the universe.
working in harmony with its rhythms and cycles.
To bring your true will into being.
That's
Okay, before we move into the more challenging aspects of Thelema,
sure.
the journey of initiation,
Right.
what stands out to you most from this section of the book?
You know what's really remarkable is how they weave together practical techniques
Yeah.
with profound philosophical concepts.
It's not just a dry manual.
Yeah.
It's a guide to living a richer, more meaningful life.
I think so.
It's like it's giving you the tools to be the hero of your own story.
The master of your own destiny.
Yeah. And that's incredibly empowering.
It is.
So in the next part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
we'll explore some of the deeper mysteries of Thelema, like the holy guardian angel,
Yeah.
the challenges of the abyss.
Sounds good.
So we've covered like a ton of stuff,
We have.
from the basics to rituals,
Correct?
even like the whole philosophy of Thelema.
Yeah.
But there's this one thing
Okay.
that keeps popping up
Uh,
that we haven't really talked about.
what's that?
The holy guardian angel.
Yes.
It sounds kind of mysterious.
It is a pretty mysterious concept.
Yeah.
One of the most profound and mystical in Thelema.
So what is it?
Well, think of it as your higher self, your divine spark, your
Uh-huh.
connection to the universal consciousness.
So not like a literal angel with wings, you know.
Not necessarily, although some
Yeah.
people do experience it that way.
Really?
Yeah, more often it's like a subtle presence,
Oh, yeah.
a voice within
Uh-huh.
a guiding intuition.
That leads you towards your true will.
Exactly.
And finding your holy guardian angel, that's like the ultimate goal.
It's a major milestone
Okay.
on the path of initiation.
So the book describes it as this process of self-discovery.
Aligning with your true will,
Mhm.
achieving a profound union with your divine nature.
So it's about recognizing the divinity within you
Yeah,
and aligning your life with that higher purpose.
exactly.
And are there rituals for, like, achieving this union?
Crowley developed several,
Okay.
and the book mentions one in particular.
Which one?
The ritual of Liber Samek.
Liber Samek.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty intense.
It's not for beginners.
What's it all about?
Well, it involves invocation,
Huh?
visualization,
Okay.
a deep exploration of your inner world.
The book gives a pretty detailed overview.
It does for those who are ready.
Right.
Think of it as a way to consciously connect with your higher self
Okay.
and receive guidance and insight.
But this path to the Holy Guardian Angel,
Uh,
it's not always easy, is it?
no, it's not.
The book mentioned something called the Abyss.
The abyss.
And that sounded kind of terrifying.
It's a symbolic representation
Uh.
of a stage of spiritual development
Uh-huh.
where the ego has to be completely dissolved.
Whoa.
It's a point of profound transformation,
Okay.
but also a place of great challenge
Yeah.
and potential despair.
So it's about confronting your deepest fears.
Yeah, your shadow self.
All the things you've been avoiding.
And surrendering to a higher power.
So you're facing the darkest parts of yourself.
In a way, yeah. Okay.
It's about letting go of everything you thought you were.
To become something greater.
Crowley himself claimed to have crossed the abyss
Really?
and encountered a being called Choronzon,
Choronzon.
which represents chaos and the dissolution of identity.
Sounds like a horror movie.
It can be a harrowing experience.
Yeah.
But the book stresses that it's necessary
For true enlightenment.
for true enlightenment,
It's about letting go of the illusion of the separate self.
merging with the infinite.
It's like a death and rebirth.
Exactly.
Okay, for the soul.
On the other side,
Yeah.
you emerge transformed,
Free from the ego.
more aligned with your true will.
Okay, so we've got the Holy Guardian Angel,
Mm-hmm.
the Abyss,
Yeah,
this whole journey of initiation.
Right.
It's a lot to take in.
it is.
But this book,
This manual.
the Aleister Crowley Manual,
Yeah.
it makes these complex concepts feel
Yeah.
accessible and even inspiring.
I think that's its greatest strength.
Yeah, it empowers you to explore these ideas
Embark on your own journey.
without getting lost in the jargon.
Right. Or feeling overwhelmed.
It's a roadmap
Yeah.
for personal transformation.
And it's not just theory.
No, it's packed with practical stuff
Yeah. Exercises, rituals, techniques.
that you can actually use
Yeah.
to integrate these principles into your life.
It encourages you to think critically,
Question everything.
find your own path.
It emphasizes personal experience
Right.
over blind faith.
Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
any final thoughts from the book that you think our listeners should think about?
There's a quote from the Book of Lies.
Okay.
It says, "The mysteries of Babylon are indeed the true gateway into humanity's final initiation."
Wow.
I think that's a powerful statement.
What do those mysteries hold?
Right.
What is this final initiation?
And how does it apply to your life?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a challenge.
Keep exploring.
Keep digging deeper.
See where it leads you.
Thelema is a lifelong journey,
Yeah, of self-discovery.
pushing the boundaries of consciousness.
Realizing your full potential
And this book is a fantastic guide.
for anyone ready for that adventure.
Exactly.
So to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive
Yeah.
into Thelema and magic.
It's been fun.
We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity.
Giving you some tools
Yeah.
to unlock your own power.
Keep exploring. Keep questioning.
Keep the magic alive.
Until next time,
May you find your own unique path.
to enlightenment.